That last week of December, I was on vacation. I gave strict instructions on Twitter for 2022 to come up in here like I got some sense. You think that's what happened? Fendi, like the bag. This is the I Refuse podcast. Welcome to the I Refuse podcast. This is Mr. Fox of the I Refuse podcast. Here it is, day 10 of 2022, and we done lost 3 people in less than a week. Sidney Poitier, James Mtume from Mtume, and Bob motherfucking SAGET. I'm sick of it all. So, "2022 struck me down with Sidney Poitier, right? No words. I just don't know where to start. Once in a lifetime, like, I was still in recovery from Betty White. Now, mind you, Betty White, great, like, but I'm still in the mindset of rooting for everybody black, right? When Betty White went down suddenly, because, listen, I was one of those people that was part of the bandwagon counting down to her 100th birthday. And it felt like the moment I said something, that should happen on the 31st. And then right around that time, it was Desmond Tutu, it was Bell Hooks. Quite as it's kept, I thought Desmond Tutu passed away a long time ago. Like, for whatever reason, I thought he passed away right around the time that Mother Teresa passed away. But Betty White, like, I'm a big Mama's Family stan. Like, there will be no slander of that show in my lifetime. I'm cool on Golden Girls. Like, I'm not a stan compared to a lot of other people, but it's good. Mama's Family is my shit. Like, there's not enough I can say about that. Not too familiar with Mary Tyler Moore, not really too familiar with some of the other stuff she'd been on. She'd been around on television close to 80 years. But I did watch the First Lady of Television documentary the second time yesterday, and it just reiterates why she's so amazing. But Sidney Poitier is another. Like, I can do a whole video or two on Sidney Poitier, just the man himself, the acting, the humanitarianism, the spirituality and the energy, like the highest example of, like, class and grace and dignity. A, playing against type, B, elevating the image of black people and black men specifically in one of the most major forms of art. At a time when A, we weren't given those kind of roles, and B, we weren't seen as equitable in talent and magnitude. Like, when he was getting, first of all, I was looking into his history. There was probably about a 2 or 3 year span of time where he went from just doing like things in theater to being nominated and winning the Academy Award for started winning for, the Academy Awards for Best Actors. And it wasn't even, and that was like before like Lilies in the Field and In the Heat of the Night. And there's another movie that was really, really good. It was him and a white lady. I can't think of it, but it was a little dramatic, but at a time when they were barely giving any shine really to black actors in general, actresses included, Sidney Poitier just came and just soared. And when even with all the success and all the acclaim and all of this talent that he gave to the screen, there was a time even then that they were trying to give him roles that were stereotypical. And he was like, I'm going to back out of the industry for a couple of years until shit gets right. Those are my words, not his. But beyond that, the impact, you know what I mean? Like, without Sidney Poitier, there wouldn't be a Morgan Freeman, a Lou Gossett, a Glenn Turman, a Denzel Washington, a Will Smith, a Michael B. Jordan. Every major leading, supporting, small role that a black actor or a black actress has landed, it wouldn't have been possible without a Sidney Poitier. Like, think about it. The 40s, the 50s, the 60s, white people ran that. White people had the strong arm on that. And for Sidney Poitier to just come out and say, oh, there's another way to portray this. There's another way to view black men, black women, and it not be stereotypical in nature or prejudicial in nature. Like, I'm actually going to slap this white man in this movie in the 50s and the 60s. And there's nothing he can do about it. In the Heat of the Night, like, the movie itself is not, it differs from the TV show in the 80s. I got to give it up to the man that played Tibbs in the Heat of the Night. I believe his name was Howard Rollins, who was also in The Soldier Story. That's another conversation to be had another day. But Sidney Poitier in the movie version with Rod Steiger, very strong, very dedicated to finding out, solving this crime. And every step of the way, he's getting some racial pushback. Mind you, this is the time where they wanted to keep us in our place. And here you have this man. I remember the scene in the greenhouse, right? In the Heat of the Night, the movie. The white guy that he's questioning feels some kind of way that this black man's asking him questions. Nuanced racism, right? Approaches Sidney Poitier's character, slaps him. Without blinking, Sidney Poitier's character slaps him back. Groundbreaking at that time. So there's a big hole. There's a massive cut, massive wound that came with Sidney Poitier's passing. 94 years old. So I was still in recovery from that. Then not too long after that, because Sidney Poitier passed last week. And then yesterday, James Mtume. So, the name should sound familiar to a lot of you guys. I mean, not just because he backed Miles Davis in the late 60s, early 70s. Not only because he co-wrote some of Donny Hathaway and Roberta Flack's duets and produced them with James Lucas. Not only because he wrote and produced, along with James Lucas, some of Stephanie Mills' greatest songs. Not because he's like a virtuoso, like amazing arranger, producer, but a lot of us, that name would sound familiar because the band is his namesake, Mtume, but Juicy Fruit, right? Juicy Fruit, Juicy Fruit, Juicy Fruit. Amazing 80s song, sampled by Biggie, Notorious B.I.G., and I believe it's found its way in other songs. But that song, it's just one of those songs that just gives you a feeling, takes you back to a certain time. And come to find out, so he, at some point a couple years ago, went on to The Breakfast Club. And of course, that was a great interview as to, his life and his career as starting out as like a sideman to Miles Davis and then forming his own band with one of Luther Vandross's backup singers at the time being the lead, and what Juicy Fruit's really about, which is about oral sex. The more you know. But, when you think of producers, arrangers, and stuff like that of the 80s, James Mtume is not a larger part of the conversation. In the 80s, it was Prince, Quincy Jones, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, Babyface, Daryl Simmons, Ellie Reed. Ugh. But James Mtume is not usually in the big part of the conversation, probably because he was a reflection of like the early 80s. And around that time, like hip hop was was starting to come to the forefront. But don't get it twisted. Huge impact. I mean, Juicy Fruit alone's probably been sampled a dozen times over. And the song still goes. But Mtume had other songs too. You, Me, and He. Let's see. I can't even think of the damn name of the other song. But it's one of those groups that kept a steady flow of like material, but never quite bang like a Rose Voice or SOS Band. But anybody that backs Miles Davis is cool in my book. Huge Miles Davis fan over here. Can put him on at any point. Everybody goes up for what is that? The Blue Album, but Bitches Bros my shit. Someday My Prince Will Come, Sketches in Spain. On the Corner, maybe. Tutu, definitely. But anybody that backs him, from Wayne Shorter to Jimmy Davis to George Benson to, of course, James Mtume, who I believe backed him during his, during one of his many evolutions and adjustments when he was backed by like younger guys in the 70s. James Mtume is gold in my book. So there I was still hit with that, and then like later in the afternoon yesterday, Bob motherfucking Saget, I said, you is lying to me. Like, where did that come from? I'm looking at y'all, and I'm looking at y'all because what are y'all doing out here that 2022 is just like, oh well, I'm just taking people out of left field. Like people you would have never suspected, people you just saw the day before. Bob Saget was in Florida, had just did a show the night before. And then before that, he did a show the previous day, I think, in California somewhere. He had just did a set the night before. Was on social media giving out thank yous and shout outs while he was standing on the stage because he had just completed a set. They found him 4 p.m. yesterday in his hotel room, unconscious. 65 years old. Now, I know a lot of y'all will connect Bob Saget to Full House, as you should. I mean, that show was on for like 20 fucking years almost. I could never get into Full House in the 80s. I was more into like Perfect Strangers, maybe Facts of Life. I was into Family Matters, of course, and I was into most of the TGIF lineup, and I believe Full House was part of that. I was even into Step by Step. The theme song, bang. I was a little bit of a Suzanne Summers fan from Three's Company. Really wasn't into like all the grown-up adult shows like Dallas and shit. So, I mean, Patrick Duffy could take him or leave him. But Full House, everybody loved. I mean, I would breeze by it a couple of times. I mean, of course I would watch when Journey Smollett was on there as Mary-Kate and Ashley's friend. But other than that, not really big on that. I just thought it was like really corny and cheesy and safe and like the whitest fucking thing since sliced bread. But when I went to see Half Baked as Dave Chappelle, Jim Brewer, and Guillermo Diaz from Scandal. And, you know, Dave Chappelle's character goes through like different things the first half of the movie. He realizes he's addicted to the hash, the sweet leaf, the stickiest of the icky, and decides to go to one of those group therapy things where, you know, you stand up and you tell everybody your name and what you're addicted to. He goes on stage and he says his name and he says he's addicted to weed. Bob Saget jumps up out of the audience and says, I once sucked peen behind a dumpster for crack, or, you know, crack or whatever. And a black guy jumps up and says, you ever did that for weed or whatever? And, you know, Dave Chappelle's just on stage, just like surprised and flabbergasted. He's like, huh? He's like, no. Boo this man. I was like, oh, ain't that Bob Saget from Full House? Oh, this is definitely a change. So even though like Bob Saget did Full House and America's Funniest Home Videos, which bangs. I'm mad that Hulu doesn't have the earlier episodes. Like, it literally just has the last 2 or 3 episodes with Alfonso Ribeiro. But I need to see the earlier shit. That's not watered down. It look like, when people hurt themselves actually, or look like they hurt themselves for $10,000, and Bob Saget would go into the audience and present the 3 finalists for the big reward. Take me back to those days. Like, I could watch those all day. But I saw him in Half Baked, and I was like, oh, the dad from Full House is in movies like vulgar and cussing and saying and talking about dicks and shit. I was like, oh, okay. Then, like, not too long after that, they did a prequel to Dumb and Dumber, right? So this movie didn't really go anywhere. Neither Jim Carrey or Jeff Daniels are in the movie. It's a prequel to the first movie. So Dumb and Dumberer is about when they met in high school. And Jeff Daniels' character ends up being interested in one of the girls in school. And she invites him over to her family's house for dinner. And Bob Saget is the father. For whatever reason, there's something that happens earlier in the movie where Jeff Daniels' character, I know it's Harry and Lloyd. Okay, so Harry's in high school has like an IBS issue. A reaction to something, and he's given a laxative before the dinner or something. So during the course of the dinner, he has to go to the bathroom in the girl's house, and has a major incident in the bathroom, to where the toilet doesn't flush, and he's producing more than the toilet can handle. So at some point, what's inside of him is all over the bathroom, and he's too embarrassed to like go back. And Lloyd shows up, and Harry goes out the window, and they leave. Just as they're leaving, Bob Saget walks into the bathroom. And the look on his face, he's like, there's shit everywhere. He shit all over the bathroom. There's shit everywhere. All this fucking shit. Hilarious. Like, that was worth the price of the DVD. Just his part in that bathroom. And I'm like, okay, that's the dad from Full House. And he's cussing up a storm. So I did some digging then, like some research, and I realized that from the very beginning, Bob Saget's style of comedy and style of stand-up and humor is steep contrast to what you see in Full House and what you see on America's Funniest Home Videos. Talk about branding genius. Like, I would have never thought, in my dumb tail, thinking that, like, if it's the same person with 2 different personas, it's 2 different people. Like, that can't be the same guy from Full House. No, but it is. And I can confirm that it is very much true, because I went to go see Bob Saget at the Soundstage in Baltimore back in 2016. He did a white hot amazing set. I don't even think he had an opening act for almost 2 hours. He did stand up, but he also did musical numbers, but with a guitar and everything. But it was original songs. Maybe the melody was familiar from a popular song. but he would tell stories through song. Um, Now, whether the shit was true or not, it was hilarious. At some point, he brought a guy up on stage and did part of his set around this guy. It very much gives you like college humor, maybe a little bit of toilet humor, definitely some dark comedy, which, or black, dark humor, which touches on taboo subjects. But of course, a lot of that wouldn't go over with the sensitive alphabet people that we have today. I enjoyed the shit. And I'm so glad that I got to see Bob Saget 6 years ago. But 65 years old that he passed. And that shit was sudden. I'm willing to go out on a hunch and say it was probably like a heart attack or an aneurysm or something. I hope it wasn't the Optimus Prime. I really hope it wasn't. But like, just a nice guy. Like, 2022 is out here taking nice people. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that there really wasn't a new year. We're just repeating 2021 at this point. Like, you took out a really nice lady on the 31st of last month who wouldn't hurt a fly, just funny as all get out, and then you continue your massacre 10 days in by taking one of the nicest comedians, male comedians, Bob Saget. Like, where the fuck would that come from? I really said while I was on vacation, I tweeted, 2022, please come up in this house like you got some damn sense. And you think that's what happened? Do you really think that's what happened? That's all I got. Ain't got no more. Y'all stay hydrated. Keep y'all asses in the house. Try as best you can to do your grocery shopping online. But don't fall for the option to do substitutions, because they will fuck your shit up. For example, don't substitute milk. Don't substitute ice cream. Do not substitute meat. Do not substitute sodas and power drinks, especially if you're somebody that is dedicated to zero sugar, because they will fuck your shit up. We did online grocery shopping recently. I thought I was past that in my life. Because this is the third season of the Panasonic, and we have better masks at this point. And I had a bad experience. Like, it will play with your emotions to where, like, you will have everything set. You have it. You make it to checkout and you pay for the shit, and they come back and text message like a day later, saying, oh, well, they didn't have this, they didn't have this, they didn't have this. And you just want to throw the whole damn thing out the window. Why would they make it seem like online that the store had it? Like, it made it to the shopping cart. You made it to checkout. You paid for the shit. I don't like the fact that they make you wait a day or whenever the hell they feel like acknowledging your shit for you to get a response. But back to my original story, we wanted milk. Somehow we ended up with lactose-free milk. I'm not drinking the shit, but it sounds like it's Tastes like car battery. And I'm not doing it. Lactose-free milk. Why don't you just call it water? And then, but I think I didn't do the ordering, but he accepted substitutions. I'm not substituting on my milk. Like, I want whole milk. I'm not substituting on that. But they took it a step further and just avoided all milk, because lactose is part of the reason why it's called milk. And that's nothing against you people out there that drink almond milk. I didn't know almonds had titties. But lactose free. What you putting that on? It's one of those things that's like the milk that come in the cans. Like, that's the kind of shit you put in stuff and like recipes that mix in with other stuff and you can't taste it. But you think I'm gonna put that on a naked bowl of Cheerios or a naked bowl of Captain Crunch and be okay? No. Like, separately with some brownies and shit? No. And it sucks because it's like, maybe I wanted cereal this week. But moral of the story is no substitutions on shit. Especially shit you drinking by itself. But there were substitutions for like sports drinks. He wanted 0 sugar. They gave him regular Gatorade. Are y'all trying to send people to the ER? But again, moral of the story is no substitutions. Like, substitute stuff in like food, you know what I mean? But you're fucking people's lives. Like, whose idea was it to even make online grocery shopping a thing? Because the reasons not to do it are adding up, and I'm just like, again, 10 days into the new year, and shit just can't align right. Like, I feel like we're about to derail again around the same time we did 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years. 2-year anniversary almost to the day. We were told to stay our asses in the house. And y'all still ain't doing it. But moral of the story is no substitutions. You only get one go in this damn thing. And like I said in an earlier video, I know a lot of y'all are like, fuck it. Balls to the wall, ride till the wheels fall off. But here's the thing. You really don't know when the wheels are going to fall off. And y'all walking around here looking like the fucking Lone Ranger, wearing the shit over your eyes, wearing the shit above your mouth, wearing the shit below your nose, wearing ladies' underwears on airplanes. Like Janine James said in the Netflix special, The Comedians, she's also on Abbott Elementary. We're at a point right now where the bus people are on airplanes now. And when I say the bus people, think of every iteration of a person that's like rude, inconsiderate, boisterous, doing, open air speakerphone conversations, smoking on the bus, fighting on the bus, acting up on the bus. Oh, they're doing that 30,000 square miles above the ground on airplanes now. The bus people are on airplanes. And she said it, and that shit cracked me up. Abbott Elementary got it going on. I watched both episodes that it premiered. I believe the third one's coming on tomorrow. But I can catch it on streaming on Hulu. everybody on there is a fucking riot, and everybody on there is the best representation or reflection of the kind of people I had in my schools growing up. Like, you have a person that is, there's always that teacher that is doing the best that they can and trying to solve things on their own. That's Quinta's character. You have the substitute teacher that is new to it and trying to navigate their way through it the best they can. That's James Tyler's character. You have the A1 Day 1 teacher that is there but not all the way checked in, but gives their advice to the younger teachers, but protects their energy at all times. That Shirley Ralph's character had me screaming. So you have, like, in this life, older people, especially older black women, who have their delivery, right? She it's not overly condescending, it's not overly patronizing, but it's just the way that they say things. And they have a tone in their voice that they mean well. When she invited that boy out to lunch, which was essentially just come hang with me while I get my nails done, and he said, "Oh, I have lunch. I was just going to eat my sandwich in my car." And she was like, "No, I insist. Come hang out with me. You and your little Nissan sandwich." It's just, I think it's more so the way she said it than the phrase itself, that I slid out my chair, physically slid out my chair. I paused the episode. I said, like, there are people out there that just paraphrase shit. And it's just the best representation of, "Oh, your little Nissan sandwich. Yeah, bring that." The boy never said he drove a Nissan. And I feel like there's a bad rep that comes with a Nissan. Like, it's a reflection of where you are in life, and it's not a good place. But I'm gonna praise you best I can for, trying to make it work. That's what I got from that little sentence. And then you have a teacher that is from the streets, loyal to the streets. That's the little Italian lady that's on there. And then you have, like, that white guy that is trying to fit in, trying to be down, but just kind of misses the mark, but he means well. I don't know the other guy's name, the other actor that's on there. But the 4 or 5 of them, and then the principal, Janine James, oh, hilarious. She is very much on, FTK energy. Like, I knew I was going to like her the moment she spent all the money that they got from the county or the city and spent on the sign showing her new hair that she had just got done. But this last episode where Quinta's character got electrocuted a little bit, caused a power outage, and then, because she didn't have breakfast and she had worked through lunch, she had like a fainting spell in the hallway. And the principal came out of somewhere trying to act like she cares and was going to save the day. Saw her passed out and thought she was going to turn to one of those zombies. And she said, "Zombies eat the beautiful people first, so let me back my tasty ass up." Hollered. It very much gives you, like, The Office and some of the camera work. And a lot of people break the fourth wall. Shirley Ralph, iconic with her nonverbals, breaks the fourth wall. Tyler James, the guy from Everybody Hates Chris, breaks the fourth wall. By the by, he grew up to be a little bit of a cutie. But Abbott Elementary got it going on. 2 episodes in, like, it's very rare that there's a show out there that has you cracking up like the first 2 minutes. I was like, that was what it was like in the first pilot episode. And I was just like, this is going to be my show. Big fan of Quinta anyway already, but to see that she is the sole writer on the show, that's big. I expect some award nominations next year, this year, whatever. And I know it's going to do really well. Like, it's very rare for a show these days where the second episode has higher ratings than the pilot. Stronger viewership, higher viewership numbers than the pilot. That says a lot. And I think she is benefiting, and that show's benefiting a lot from word of mouth on social media and the fact that everybody else are in the house and we on the streaming game is strong. Abbott Elementary, go check it out. I watch it on Hulu. I believe it's on ABC. If you got Hulu, get your Hulu on. It comes on Tuesdays, which means it's on Hulu like an hour later. Great show. Check it out. Abbott Elementary. This is Mr. Fox, the I Refuse podcast, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.
Out of curiosity, just when I got here. Just when you got here, and you're having a nice time, and you're happy to see me. You do my material and everything. And what are you yelling out? Light a fart on fire. This is the fucking troglodyte weirdos over here from Mad Max 4. They're out of their fucking minds. Let's hear a cheer from these weirdos. They're crazy. They're doing well. There's no chance her parents are gonna let this fly. Speaking of fly, yours is down. But anyway, no, I didn't look. No, I'm just fucking around. But here's a song. It's a new song, and I hope you like it. To do was arm wrestle. She kicked my ass and lit up a fat cigar. She was so sweet, so kind. And it would have been rude to come in here, wasting all my time. I don't know. Career, and Uncle Jesse was inside of me. That's okay, cause he's Uncle Jesse. Patsopoulos, reading yogurt forever. Mickey and Alex Piper Room. Sometimes the show wasn't that funny, but fuck you. Man, lots of money. Well, I gave half to my ex-wife anyway. Would have been cheaper if I had been gay. Tell me why some people call me faggot. Tell me why, maybe because my name I'm SAGET. Tell me why I suck dick for coke, but that's not the same. I seen him. That doesn't mean Danny Tanner could be gay. Oh, Danny Tanner was not gay. Thank you guys so much.